Most Nigerian startups fail before they actually launch. And of course, the reason why Nigerian startup fails, the reasons are varied. There are lots of reasons. But there's one particular reason that I like paying attention to. And for those of you who listen to the podcast, I guess you're not going to be surprised. And that's the reason of analysis paralysis. Basically, people are thinking and planning and planning and planning to plan. And so, because of that, you have people planning for months at an end, but they don't deploy anything. They don't build anything. They don't ship anything. That's the main reason why Nigerian startup ideas are failing. Because a lot of you are planning to plan. A lot of you are dreaming to build. You're building nothing. You are deploying nothing. You're wasting weeks. You're wasting months thinking about the brand. You're wasting all this time worrying about the website, worrying about tech, worrying about the back end. You should be thinking about how quickly you can build an MVP. That's a minimum viable product. A minimum viable product is just the smallest version of your idea that people can see, that people can interact with, that people can use, so you can get a sense of whether people think this your software idea, this your app, this your enterprise solution, this whatever it is that you're trying to build, so that people can see and judge for themselves whether they like it or not, or whether they're willing to pay for it or not. That is what you should be doing. But even for those of you who think of building an MVP, you fall into the error of wasting too much time on planning or dreaming about building the MVP. You don't go ahead to build the damn thing. That's the main reason why lots of Nigerian startups fail. Or rather, that is one of the reasons that I want to pay attention to today in the podcast episode. Now, if you'd like to connect with me, you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. One of the reasons why I'm talking about this today is because instead of just talking about it and complaining, I'm actually collaborating with someone who's trying to solve that problem. And that's what I'm going to talk to you all about today. And there are a couple of podcast episodes that we're going to be talking about these particular issues, how we can solve these sorts of problems in the Nigerian startup space. Now, the average time I went online to go and look for, So I went online to go and look at some figures for the average time that it takes people to deploy world over. And to be honest, the figures that I saw, I don't even trust those figures. But just for the sake of, how will I put it now? To fulfill all righteousness, let me go ahead and share some of the data that I got. Now, some of the data that I found online, please, by the way, go and verify these figures for yourself, is that on average, people are taking 3 to 4 months before they deploy their ideas. 3 to 4 months. And honestly, I think this is too generous. Because since I started the podcast, I hear from people all the time, especially people in the tech space. They think they have a brilliant idea. They want to launch. I'm currently working with somebody right now, a client of mine. I'm ashamed to say this, but I think it's about 4 years now. They still haven't launched. So there are people who play this game. They play this game for months. So saying 3 to 4 months, I think is too generous. Most people are spending more time than that. But what I found online is when it comes to a no-code product, that is your product idea, your service idea, your website idea, your app idea, it doesn't require too much sophisticated code. Yeah, that most people take about 2 to 4 weeks before they start. There are some business ideas that you can launch just by putting up a landing page or building an online directory, things like that. I think the most famous of these guys that did it is, what's his name? This guy, the 4-week guy. 4-hour work week. Yeah, the 4-hour work week guy. I can't remember his name. But anyway, there's one of his products. That is how he launched his product. He basically just, created a landing page. And from people placing orders on the landing page, the guy was like, okay, we're good to go. This is a real business. This is a viable business. So the guy didn't waste time. If you just Google the 4-hour work week, you see the guy. You see the book. He's a successful businessman and investor right now. And that's how he got one of his ideas started. The guy just created landing page and then the guy started. which is something I've been recommending for a very long time for those of you in the tech space. Now, okay, this idea sounds pretty good. Okay, create a landing page now and push it out. Let's see. Do people like this thing? Let's see how many people click. Let's see how many people want to buy. Let's see how many people want to subscribe. Let's see how many people want to, whatever. Put up a landing page. So, from what I saw online, it takes people on average 2 to 4 weeks. But man, that thing is too generous. In Nigeria, I won't be surprised if you tell somebody in January, create a landing page, and then in July, you're still asking the person, oh boy, how far? Where's the landing page? Meanwhile, no landing page. But sure, based on what I saw online, they say that most people are spending 2 to 4 weeks if the thing that they're trying to design is a simple no code solution. Then I also found that for people who are in the SaaS space, that is software as a service, they're taking about 8 to 12 weeks to launch. And again, I say that's too generous. In Nigeria, I'm surprised if some people are taking like 2 years before they launch. If it's a SaaS product, software as a service. So those are the kind of solutions that how will I describe it now? Okay, software as a service is when you build software, you deliver it online, and you sell it to businesses. How will I put it? No, let's just say software as a service is when you use software to solve problems. Let me put it that way. So, like those of us who used to be in the much more creative spaces, like what's it called? Not PowerPoint. What's it called? Photoshop. Yeah. So, like Photoshop, for instance. Yeah, that's software as a service. So in the old days, you go buy Photoshop in the market, you install it on your computer. So right now, you just download. I don't think it's called Photoshop anymore. My son keeps correcting me every time I say Photoshop. He says Adobe something suite. So you go, you download Adobe whatever suite, and you're using the software to solve problems. So that's software as a service. So from the information that I found online, most people who are trying to build software as a service, they take about 8 to 12 weeks before they launch, before they deploy. So before they build a web app, before they build all their dashboards, they build their database, they put payment integration on the website, everything, taking them 8 to 12 weeks. But honestly, I think for Nigerian businesses, it's a lot longer than that. I won't be surprised if they're taking 2 years before they start. Then for enterprise solutions, people are taking about 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months. Now, some of the challenges might be, excuse me, now people are trying to come up with complex AI models. Of course, they have high security concerns. Then when you're building enterprise solutions, there's also issues of, regulatory issues, compliant issues. For those of you who want to build fintechs, you need to wait for what is it called? Approvals and licenses from CBN. One of my clients is currently in that space. He's built something that is supposed to tack on to your banking app and then help you review your spending habits and things like that, so that you can better budget, prioritize your spending, and then get a sense of your financial history. So over the last week, over the last month, over the last year, this is what I've actually been spending money on. So the guy is currently waiting for approvals on CBN and stuff like that. So enterprise solutions now, people who are building those sorts of things. Enterprise solution basically just means how will I put it now? Gosh, how will I describe it? When you're selling to big businesses, basically, big businesses that have good revenue, like maybe like 100 million and above, big businesses. Like when this my guy finally gets the approvals, ultimately he will want people like you and me to be downloading the app. But I think another way to access the market could probably be to approach, banks, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, all these big banks, to see how this thing can be integrated. So you see, that's what we're talking about when we say enterprise level software. You're selling to the big boys and the big girls, all those big companies then. And of course, they have big needs that go along with it. So from what I saw online, it says that people are launching in 4 to 6 months. And I say error, I'm saying it's a lie. In Nigeria, I don't think anybody's building enterprise solution company and launching in 6 months. That one itself, I'll say 3 years, 4 years before people even start. Now, there's a problem when you're taking so much time to plan, when you're dreaming to plan, when you're dreaming of executing. Every time people ask you, boy, how far with this your idea? Say, I'm on it, I'm on the grind. I'm on the hustle. You don't have any specific updates that you have to give people. There's a problem. One problem is sometimes market needs change, consumer trends change, consumers feel like they need something else. Competition comes in. You never know because you're wasting time. You are wasting too much time. My recommendation on the podcast has always been that you should try and talk to a couple of people before you start building. That's what I talk about, discovery. I know in the last podcast episode I spoke about it, even though it was not related to software. But I figured, talk to a couple of people, maybe 5, 10 people. If you figure out what people are interested in, what problems that they have, things like that, it will give you a sense on the kind of thing where you go design, on the kind of software, the kind of app that you will design. Then the next stage is you go quickly into your whole UI UX design. You web people, you like your acronyms, UI UX, the user interface, the user experience. You start designing everything. But don't just be designing without talking to people. Talk to people first so they get all the data that you need to actually start designing something. Then after that, you go into your core and feature development. And then, you roll it out. People test it. You have to start debugging. Like one of my clients who they created an app, but the app, his own particular app is for tailors and fashion designers in Nigeria. So they're currently at the stage. So they've gone through all this. They spoke to a couple of people that determined the kind of app that they designed, made it available for iOS and for Android. So we've gone through feature development and currently testing out the app with a few. I would have loved if they got up to 100, but they've not gotten up to 100. But testing it now. Rolled it up, testing it. Are bugs coming up? How do you squash the bugs? How do you fix the problems? Things like that. That's what they're doing. So if you've been listening to my podcast for any length of time, you will know that that is my own recommendation. I've always said, look, you're spending too much time thinking. Just launch. Get this thing moving. Time is going. People are not going to be sitting and waiting for you forever. Somebody else will start and you say, oh, I had that idea before. And so I had that idea before does not pay the bills. It doesn't move anything forward. I hear that a lot. Oh, I had that idea before. Nothing new. And quite frankly, before Uber became a thing internationally, I know one guy in Abuja. Their office was not far from Living Faith in Durumi. So that building, that complex that is there, that is made with clay bricks, that's where the office used to be. I'm telling you, it was uncanny. I always was hearing the guy talking about this idea, and I thought this idea will never work. Never. Then lo and behold, months after, I started hearing this thing, Uber. From Uber, you begin to hear Bolt, and then now all these things all over the place. Now, of course, I know that he'll be going around. Okay, well, he's a nice guy, so he probably won't say that. But if he tells somebody that I had this idea before Uber, he'll be justified. But at the end of the day, and so you had the idea before Uber. Did you build? Did you launch? No. You just had a good idea. So let us learn to ship. Let us learn to build. Let us learn to get things moving. Now, I told you guys that I'm collaborating with someone to solve this problem. The company that they have come up with is called Ikenga Software Factory. Ikenga is Ikenga. For those of you who are a bit older, those of you who are in, let me say 40, 45, maybe 50, you remember the books that we read in school. There was a book called Ikenga. Ikenga is anyway, let me not go into it. I'm not sure if the owners of the company want me to talk about that aspect. But Ikenga Software Factory. Ikenga. If you want to find out about them online, just go to the website. The website is very simple. 4 letters only. Listen. Ikenga Software Factory. The website is iksf.ng. Very simple. Ikenga Software Factory, Nigeria. iksf.ng. That is what we've come up with. The whole point of coming up with Ikenga Software Factory, again, iksf.ng, is number 1, speed to market. In line with my own personal philosophy, boys and girls, tech bro, tech sister, whatever it is you call yourself, move. Speed to market. Move. Take this your idea and go live. The idea behind Ikenga Software Factory is that no matter your idea, so long as you can describe your idea in plain English, once you go to iksf.ng, we'll deliver you a product within 7 days. So long as you can describe your idea in plain English that all of us can understand. Remember, iksf.ng, Ikenga Software Factory. Sorry, if all you speak is Hausa, then okay, we're going to have a problem. You might need to find somebody, who can talk English and type English and all that. But so long as you can talk or type in ordinary English on iksf.ng, Ikenga Software Factory, your product will be ready 7 days. Another problem that we're trying to solve is people are trying to launch products. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why, it kind of take time. You talk to a software developer, today in January, the guy will tell you, say, well, bring like 5M, no problem. But maybe you can't raise that 5M. By the time you raise 5M in 3 or 4 months and you come back, the guy will say, you know what's in the happen now. You know this economy now. You know how things they be now. You're supposed to bring 15M. You say, 15M. You now have to start looking for money again. So the price they go up, the price they come down. Okay, well, in Nigeria, nothing comes down. The price they go up based on inflation, based on dollar, based on this, based on all kinds of things. And then again, sometimes you raise the money, you give the software developer starts the work. But then they'll now say, oh, bros, yawa deal, there's problem here, You're supposed to bring 100K extra, 200K extra, 500K extra. That kind of thing, they cause serious confusion. And that's one problem that Ikenga Software Factory wants to get rid of. Remember, Ikenga Software Factory, iksf.ng, Ikenga Software Factory, Nigeria. So, the boys behind Ikenga, they've come up with this thing so that trying to get your product to go live, trying to get your software to go live, once you describe it in simple English, from the beginning, they'll give you a price. And that price is valid. Bam. If they have given you the price, that is the price. There will be no extra. There will be no based on, say, inflation don't rise, that'll be inflation don't fall. Or Tinubu economy this, Tinubu economy that. No. The price will be the price. Apart from the fact that you now know what the price is, they're going to break things into different chunks. Okay, look, bros, madam, for this your idea, to develop it, to build this website, to build this, to build that, we'll break it into different chunks, even different trenches. Stage A like this, stage B like this, stage C like this. And then they'll tell you exactly how much. For stage A, this is how much you'll pay. For stage B, this is how much. For stage C, this is how much. No surprises. The idea is when you're talking to normal, software development boys, web development boys, app developer boys, and surprises, the price will change, this, that. No, none of that. No surprises. Before you start, there will be a price. How we will break this project up, it will be there. What will be the price for each stage of developing this your idea? It will be there. Another problem that the boys at Ikenga Software Factory want to solve is this: no lock-in. If you start and you don't like the way things they progress, and you find somebody else who you think is better, no problem. Carry your code, carry your property. You have paid. We go migrate them for you. Carry it, it's your own. You paid for it. Won't tie you down. This is something that I appreciate because I know that Nigerian web developer boys, they like to play this game a lot. You tell them, build website for me, they'll say no problem. They will build it. The website is working, no problem. You now discover one day that if you want to change anything or you want to move anything, you want to do anything, you now have to go back to them. They're holding your website ransom. They'll say, no, if you want to do this, you pay extra. If you want to do that, you pay extra. You say, no be my website. You find out that yes, they designed it for you, but they're the ones that are holding the thing under lock and key. If you don't pay them, wahala. The Ikenga Software Factory is not going to play those games. Is your idea, Abi? You're the one that described it, Abi. You're the one that said this is how you want it to be built. You're not happy again. No problem. Carry your code. Where do you want us to migrate the thing to? Ikenga Software Factory, Nigeria. Again, IKSF.ng. Isn't this simple? Isn't this easy? Isn't this the sort of thing that will allow you to launch quick? So if you want is a simple landing page, for instance, we're no complicated, not too much code. Instead of taking 3 to 4 months, you'll be ready to launch in 7 days. Oh, I forgot to mention Ikenga Software Factory. They're also offering free free domain, free hosting costs. There's a bunch of other stuff that we can talk about, but let me just stop here and stay relevant to the topic that is at hand. Lots of Nigerian startup founders, the reason why you are not moving, the reason why you are failing, the reason why you're not making progress, the reason why you're not taking off is because you are spending too much time planning to plan, dreaming to develop, taking too much time. Just launch. Do you understand your idea enough to describe it in simple English? I repeat, in simple English. This thing does not require you to know any amount of code, so long as you can describe this idea in simple English. If you go to IKSF.ng, again, Ikenga Software Factory, Nigeria, IKSF.ng. So long as you can type or describe in simple English, we can get your product, we can get your software up and running in 7 days. So reach out to them. If they ask you for code, type in Ayede, AYEDE, or you can type in TAV, TAV. Either way, if you talk to anyone, let them know that I'm the one that sent you. If they mess you up, come and tell me, please. So I can go and tell them that, look, you guys are not treating my people right. So whether you check this out, Ikenga Software Factory, Nigeria, IKSF.ng, whether you check them out or not, because no be by force. Honestly speaking, stop wasting time. Talk to a couple of people. Find 10 people, 10, 20, 30, who you think have a problem that you think your idea for software or your idea for an app can solve. Go and talk to them. Figure out what their problems are. Figure out what their challenges are. Figure out what their needs are. Figure out what their visions are. Talk to them. That is what will determine what you will design when it comes to UI and UX, user interface and the user experience. Remember, I told you I've walked through one of my clients with this from, I think, November, December into January this year. They spoke to a couple of tailors and fashion designers first. What are the problems that fashion designers and tailors, what problems are they suffering? What vision are they moving towards? What problems are they trying to solve in their business? Based on that, that is what informed the thing that the web developer now designed and the app that they now designed. Made it available for Android and for iOS, for Apple. So it was the conversation of people that determined what it is that they designed and all the features that they put in it. So whether you check out Ikenga Software Nigeria, Software Factory Nigeria or not, again, IKSF.ng, go through this simple process. Talk to 10, 20, 30 people. Based on that insight, design something. Then, create an MVP, minimum viable product, the smallest version of that software or that app that people can engage with. Let them start using it. As they are using it, if there's problem, they will tell you, oh boy, problem day. When we click on this, this one did not work. Or when we clicked on this one worked too much. Or whatever. Whatever kind of problems come up with these things. Then, you go to patch them, you go to debug, you go to amend, you go to squash the bugs. From this process, you will now know when, okay, we're ready. We can now go live. We can now start shipping this to the general public and we can start charging money. But whether you go with Ikenga Software Factory Nigeria, IKSF.ng, sf.ng. Whether you go with us or not, this is the process that you need to go through. Because honestly, it frustrates me that I'm still talking to somebody, a current client. It's been 4 years. They never ship. 4 years. A child that was born 4 years ago is in primary school now. Una never ship. Or people will be talking months. You guys remember when I spoke about the lady who, this one was not software related. She wanted to be in the jewelry business. Her own was, I think, was like entering 5 months. Like how far? She says she's still a brand. She's still a plan. She's still thinking about the website. 5 months. Please don't let this be you. Anyway, so that's it. Now remember, if you'd love to connect with me, or if you get any issues because you've been dealing with Ikenga Software Factory, then buzz me. Call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. If they're not taking good care of you, let me know so I can go and knock them on the head and say, look, this is not what we agreed. All right, so thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you all at the next episode.